Hi. I think we're live. We are live. I have to get a good drink of water. Okay. Sorry. I'm Jane Frizzell. This is office hours. During this summer of 2025, I never know whether to look at that or that. I'm sorry. It's just going to be what it's going to be. This summer of 2025, we are, the topic of these sessions is tense horses. And it's taking me, because I want to be thorough with background information necessary, I'm taking my time talking through the ideas that people really need to have in their mind um, for addressing a so-called problem with a horse. And that brings up an important point. Horse trainers really don't, it's a huge trend. It's also a red flag, which this wasn't my intended red flag for the day. We don't fix horses. There's too many horses being fixed. They are needing to be, quote, fixed because they have not been educated. And um, so I don't approach them as problems to solve. My teachers didn't address me as a problem to solve. They sometimes approached me as an ignorant fool, but they didn't. Um, they would make sure that I had the information and practiced whatever that information is, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Do you understand the difference I'm making? But the commercial industry of horse training and the online world, it's like this, how to fix this. If your horse does this, how to fix this. Just raise them properly, teach them properly, educate them properly from the beginning. And there is a system and it's already been mapped out. And 100 years ago, people really knew it because they really used the horses in their lives. And they didn't have, like, imagine if in the automobiles that are out on the road, do you live in LA? Have you been to Miami? Imagine if only 1 in 2,000 cars operated and could steer and have a radio or have air conditioning. One in a couple thousand. I think that wouldn't be the case. I mean, it just wouldn't work. And I may be even generous with my parallel example that I'm giving. There's too few functioning horses these days, and they're getting a pass. Okay. And the industry depends on them being problems so that these professionals are always necessary. I want to move on because that is not the red flag that I intended to bring up this week. And before I do this, I just want to bring up that there are going to be other trainers coming on as the summer continues with concrete examples of horses that they trained from behind forward straight who were nervous wrecks and basket cases that became good rideable citizens. And um, and something that last week I brought up, I was talking about raves and the parties, the party scene in New York that changed location every week, but we didn't know where it was going to change, but we all knew where to go. Well, Steinbrecht sessions ended, the first Steinbrecht session ended of 23 weeks, ended a couple of weeks ago. That Tuesday 3 p.m. slot is going to resume the first Tuesday in August on another channel I operate. And the title of that channel is in the lower left corner of your screen. And that is all the announcement or link or way to find it you're getting. Okay. Now, but it'll be a very helpful thing that's going to happen on Tuesdays at 3 o'clock, starting the first week in August. All right. Now, last week, I told you guys that there's two huge doctrines in riding. The aim of the rider trainer, which I went over several times last week, so go back to that if you don't know it. And the second item being that it's like a sister to that, is the old adage that you will see over and over in all of the classical masters material. Classical masters, of course, being the dead men who actually were riders, not the internet population who have hijacked the name classical. Talking about the dead men. We talked specifically about him. Anyway, these classical masters, him, Steinbrecht, Baudant, the military riding school, Sommer, Vorendorf, Vienna, the Iberian tradition. Just name someone. Nuno Oliveira was much more into ride your horse forward and set it straight than people ever give him credit for. And Steinbrecht's aim of the rider trainer, he was very into back to front riding. Reason I'm saying this is they all knew the two golden rules of riding: ride your horse forward and set it straight. Now, a lot of people lean and quote that phrase and talk about forward straight without ever really identifying and defining these two horsemen's terms. And they are horsemen's terms because their use in the vernacular of horsemanship by horsemen is different and more specific than just the basic English or whatever language you're speaking words forward or straight. Straight, this is a straight nail file, but that's not what straight in riding is. And forward is not. I know that your trainer doesn't know what forward is because none of the horses are. I'm sorry to be that direct, but if riding is important to you and horses are important to you, please find out what forward really means. And I'm not going to get into it too much. I'm going to say what it is here, but it's going to go by pretty fast. And I'm not quite to my red flag yet. I'm telling you what we're going to talk about. I lost my train of thought. Getting off of this topic is where where everyone is going to run into problems. Oh, find out what forward really means. Now, all of the masters all used the phrase ride your horse forward and set it straight, although in Prussia and Colonel Podolsky in his instructions says set your horse straight and ride him forward. So if you want to quibble over that, go elsewhere. Ride your horse forward and set it straight is known by every legitimate horseman and proven by every legitimate horseman. The best explanation of it that I'm aware of is Steinbrecht, pages 71 through 78. And I urge all of you, what is Stein, so you can see what the cover of Steinbrecht looks like. You got to have it. If you're, whatever your discipline, you have to have this book, even if it takes you 20 years to get through it. It's Steinbrecht. So they, what I'm saying is they all of them, whatever the whole entire bookshelf of actual masters, they all talk about ride your horse forward and set it straight. But his explanation on pages 71 through 78 is the most thorough and it's perfect, really, explanation that has been left for us. And you must know it. You must know what's contained in there. And it is the topic of the Steinbrecht sessions 1 through 23 that are a playlist here that did end a couple weeks ago. And that time slot, Tuesdays, 3 p.m., is going to be replaced on the other channel I mentioned a few minutes ago. Were you listening? And the reason why I say, were you listening, is because the culture of the so-called learning, online learning and discussion groups and all of this has made too many of you don't listen and don't know how to find stuff, and your discernment is for shit. So find out what Gustav Steinbrecht says, so you can have a frame of reference when you're wading through the murky, brackish swamp that is the riding world right now. Okay, my red flag of the week, and what time is it? I'm gonna, if you guys want to tune into the red flags, I'm going to start putting it in the description, like what time the red flag's going to start, because they are going to become a little salacious if people are able to identify who I'm talking about. And I wanted to have a way to guide people through the problems online. And I thought that there is nothing right. If it's right, it's going to conform to Steinbrecht pages 71 through 78. Okay. But this example happened on Monday, 2 days ago. Today's the 23rd. Actually, I think the woman posted it on Sunday, because as I recall the post in a big group that is apparently straight and forward, like discussion group for straight and forward. The post said, when I saw it, it was 17 hours old. And the post, I'm going to paraphrase what she said. I do have it saved. And I am now blocked, by the way, from her Facebook group, which is another, if I am blocked, that is a really good indicator that there's a problem with that person, because all I do is share what the real riding is. Okay, anyway, this woman had this post that I saw, and it didn't have a picture to attract anyone. It was in her group that she runs. I don't know how many were in the group, more than follow me though. And it said that she was cleaning up her computer and ran across a list of 9 teaching principles, or 9 learning principles, but that she didn't know, and she didn't know the source of the 9 teaching principles. And so she just has decided with after trying valiantly to find the source of this list that she found in her computer, she decided that she would tweak them so that they would be discussable for training horses. So I read the 9 things, and they have nothing to do with educating horses, nothing to do with the natural aids or the law of association of sensations, nothing to do with the curriculum laid out by masters, like nothing to do at all with training horses. And I thought, they are well written. They sound a little bit too much like a TED talk to me. And so I just told the girl, I said, I doubt, or woman, whatever she is, I doubt I feel doubt that you wrote this and that you don't know who the source is. So I took a couple of the phrases, like a 5-word long tail keyword from what she was claiming she didn't know the source of and put it into Google. And damn it, if some famous learning technician, what do they call it? Is the I wrote it down so I could sound cogent, but well, anyway, it's from the learning complex of like learning styles and all that bullshit. But the author of the list of 9 things that she had been co-opting or plagiarizing or pretending that she couldn't cite properly is named Bandura, Bandura. And when I had Googled just a couple of the phrases that this horse person had put as her uncitable 9 principles for horses learning, this person, Bandura, on Google came up like full, like pages listing this person's credentials as one of these learning people, but not a horse person. So she was, first of all, the 9 principles do not apply to riding, but she was also ripping this man off. I think it's a man. I think Bandura is a man. I didn't really check that. Forgive me. So I said, you're busted. I Googled it because it's Bandura. But she had made a point of saying how she had carefully searched and tried valiantly to find the source of what she was sharing. But she had not tried valiantly because in my morning fog at 6 a.m., like on Monday morning, I found it with just like typing in a few words or pasting in a few words. So this person, so that is when these online horse people are presenting their genius, most of the genius, if they're taking it from outside industries, don't actually apply to riding. That's problem number 1 and red flag number 1. Number 2, they are stealing it. It's a hard to prove thing, but it is legally, it's intellectual property theft or plagiarism. And I'm not going to do anything. I mean, the girl blocked me. I'm never going to be able to see what she's doing again. But this is the thing. And she's very typical. It's not outrageous that she's doing it. This is what the industry is right now. That's the point I'm intending to make. One way that you will know a truly trained rider and trainer is that they will constantly reference their teachers, whether those teachers were human or horse. I learned that from, and they won't say, I learned it from the horse, like that they have a spiritual connection to horses that you don't. They will say, Grandmaster taught me that in 1989 in the arena on South Shore Boulevard across from the Polo Club. Or they will say, Valiant taught me that on Bolcombe Road with Pam Goodrich teaching me. and my seat learned the lesson. They will know exactly because there is, and they won't be ashamed to say it. They'll want to tell you. They'll go, I remember when I figured that out or learned that or realized that it was this and this and this and this. And they will tell you who their teachers were. And they will often tell you how they were humiliated. Okay, I hope you're getting my gist here. Actual, I don't even want to use the word authentic because it's been stolen for their TED Talks too. Trainers who know and are trainers will talk about their teachers a lot. And all of you need to be aware online of this co-opting or whatever the modern word for plagiarism is, this drivel that is irrelevant to riding, but that like 700 of you would click on. Okay, I'm going to move on to the main topic today. And that is, last week, I gave you guys the idea to ponder, why does the aim of the rider trainer, spelled out by Steinbrecht. Do I have two earrings in? But yes. Sorry, I get distracted by these things. Why does why the last week was the aim of the rider trainer that everyone should either immediately start nodding and go, yeah, that's it, or even know by heart. And that is, the rider trainer has achieved his aim and fully trained his horse when both forces of the hindquarters, the carrying force, the carrying power, and the propulsive force bound by elasticity are fully developed, and when he can use and combine the effects of their forces at will and in precise ratios. That statement is in Steinbrecht. I think it's page 50 or something. I can't remember. And it's also in the introduction of the Vorendorf book 2 for dressage, advanced techniques. Book 1 is principles of riding. Book 2 is advanced techniques. And that statement is in italics in book 2, advanced techniques, on page 19. Okay. I just thought of one other thing I wanted to say about this gal who, these trainers who don't like bore you with it, who don't cite their trainers and they don't cite where they got their content from, and they don't constantly reference their teachers. Get a hold of any good riding manual, such as Advanced Techniques or Principles of Riding or Podolsky's book or so-and-so's book. Who is blah, blah, blah. What is in the beginning of all these books? Bam. A genealogy of their teachers and their teachers' teachers and the teachers of their dead teachers, as boring as the genealogy in chapter 1 of Matthew. Okay, see what I mean? It's got to be there. And real masters put great weight into saying who they learned from. Okay, onward to part 2. Part 1, the guiding aim of horse training and why it matters for dealing with horses with tension. That was last week. Go watch it. This week is why the 2 golden rules, or how the 2 golden rules, forward and straight. Ride your horse forward and set it straight. Why would we think to ride a tense horse forward? When a horse is in front of the leg, and I mean that the way Phyllis meant it on pages 40 through 44, they will not be, they may still be a sensitive horse and maybe even oversensitive, but they will not be a basket case. They will be rideable. Horses that are in front of the leg do not exhibit signs of tension. Period. I've seen it with my own eyes. I don't know, a couple thousand horses, 20 years. It is true. Why? What is forward? Forward means that the horse has his own desire to carry, to advance the load. And so forward can be very slow. But it is internal in the horse, his own idea, to accept carrying and to advance the load that he is carrying. That is what forward is. Setting the horse straight. See, I'm having this little bit of drool that comes out my right mouth just in these lectures. Straight enables the horse to be more forward because it makes the situation that he's traveling on cleaner, more efficient. Straight in the horseman's definition of straight is that the right hind lands is going into the footprint of the right front, and the left hind is going into the footprint of the left front. And so those things are going on. The horse is tracking, and the horse's spine is over the line he is on. In fact, the masters tell us that the horse becomes the line. His nervous system is the line that we are on. That is forward and straight. Why? So when the horse is, and there's two forces, right? There's carrying power, and there's the propulsive force, the two forces of the hindquarters. When the carrying is governing the propulsion, and the horse does not have over propulsion, he's able to govern his own momentum by carrying. There is a weird metabolic calm, a systemic calm or settling that happens in the horse. It's like they know they can do it. They're like, all right, I'm here. And it also has to do with which parts of their body are doing the carrying and advancing. And those are the coxo-femoral joints. You will find discussion of this all throughout all of the masters, but specifically in Sommer 1912, section 34. They made a very big point of it. They did not give a drawing of the skeleton of the pole. They gave a drawing of the skeleton of the coxo-femoral articulation in the hindquarters of the horse. The big joints, not the lower leg joints, the big joints above. Okay. Now, I am a farmer. I am not a scientist. And I don't know why. I'm actually asking some athletic performance aware biomechanical professionals that are not famous in the horse world online for their bullshit talking about hyoid apparatus and shit they learned on CSI. No, they are really pondering why does coxofemoral articulation by load bearing produce systemic, I'd venture, metabolic calm that is exhibited by the 9 signs of relaxation. That's a couple weeks ago. You can find that in the playlist as one of these sessions on riding tense horses. Okay. Proper loading of the coxofemoral joints triggers systemic metabolic calm. The dominance of other joints or other sections of the body causing movement makes spooky or off behavior. Real straightness with the features I described. That's 2 features of straightness. Look them up. Steinbrecht tells it the best. It resets the horses. And this is the weirdest thing. And I remember being freaked out. I was on this. I was on a horse that was so tense. It scared the piss out of me, literally getting that horse ready. And I was getting him ready because I wanted to see, like try to be friends with him or figure out what the hell is wrong with him, which I did. He was 17.3, and making that horse ready the first 6 months I rode him, I would have to go pee 3 times. Like I get him out, get him in the cross-side, I'd have to pee. Start, brush him, get him clean, I'd have to pee, and then tack him up. I'd have to pee one more time before I went out and rode him. Because he made me that nervous. And guess what? Guess what I had to do? The very first day, actually, that we had him, guess what the major made me do? It was sideways wind out on a peninsula in the Baltic. Is that a sea or an ocean? I don't know. The farm had water on 3 sides of it. And I'm like, oh my God, can we lunge him? Can we ace him? What are the, no, I had to go out and I was like, go to the outdoor arena. I'm like, what? I had to jump him like a 3-6 course. I didn't even know if it could jump. It could. And I think it was smart because it made me want to get him in front of me instead of, anyway, none of what you can't soothe that kind of thing. They are frantic because they are in a mechanical catastrophe. And the ride, and then anyway, what I wanted to tell you is another time, like several weeks, maybe a couple months after that first day that I had to jump him outside in the sideways wind of the Baltic Sea blowing, like I could practically have sea spray on me. And he was all good at the end. He was walking all good. But during that time, when he would sometimes just like passage. I couldn't get him out of the passage or the piaffe. He would be like, and I had to kick him. Like, no fucking way am I going to kick this horse. I'm going to wind up splattered on the ceiling or the wall of the indoor. But I had to ride him forward. I had to get him in front of my leg. And then after about a year and a half of decent riding, he was like I had him back in California. He was like a surfer who was smoking too much ganja. He was chill. Anyway, riding horses in front of the leg, forward straight, so that they know that you've given them license to carry and to govern their own momentum instead of by your hard Pilates body uh, uh, fracturing their momentum. They govern their own momentum by their own carrying capacity of their coxofemoral joints. Then they say, oh, okay. And then you say, okay, now you get to do that part and I will direct where we're going. There's a little drool signal for those of you paying attention. What doesn't work is soothing and this empathy crap. Everyone's into it. You have to get into their not empathy. Think parasympathetic, autonomic, systemic, metabolic, anatomical, mechanical improvement. Got it? So soothing, no, yes, you're a good boy, but I'm not going to like pet you like, oh, I don't want to disturb the crazy one. No, make them be normal. Treat them like athletes. Help them. Here's another thing that doesn't work. Soothing number one. This is in my notes. Your fucking gym routine. Supplements and fads. None of it works. I mean, it might be it might support a program that you're doing, but the program must be mechanical and mental to get into the emotional state to say, oh, my darling, you don't need to be emotional. You will be fine. and you will be in charge of your own momentum. And the 100 people who are afraid of going forward, they all think they can get them tired on a lunge line, and you can't. And then they drug them. And the other things that don't work are psychobabble, learning theory, co-opted without citation from other industries, and all the other commercial or artistic masturbation that the horse world is indulging in right now. Ride your horse forward, set it straight.